Greetings, student. This is a recording of one of Garnett's online math lesson classes. You have been granted access to watch this video because you're a paying student and I have seen it fit to provide this recording to you. However, it is important that you know you're not allowed to share this video with persons outside the lessons. This policy is so that my services are kept only to my students. Thank you, and I do hope you enjoy and learn from this video.
So continuing from where we left off last week, that takes us to question 2, part B, part 2 of B, right? Roman numeral 2 of B. Now, this question is asking for us to represent your answer previously on the number line shown below. So here is a number line. Some of you guys probably didn't see this seen a number line. I haven't seen a number line since primary school, but this is number line. And to represent any inequality, right? So remember these are, yikes, wrong color. Yeah, remember these are called inequalities, right? Because again, they have an inequality sign. Right, this is what we're calling an inequality sign. Right, and all inequalities, right, at least for these linear inequalities, they can be represented on a number line, right? We can represent them on the number line. And the rule simply goes, okay, so x, think of x as some point on the number line is less than, it's more than, sorry, yeah, I'm saying less than, and this is a more than sign. Apologies for those of you. I think I've given you guys this before, but remember this, right? Remember what is the less than sign? Alligator mouth open to the right, or you can think of putting up your left hand, and the sign you make with your left hand is a left hand sign. And why? Because less people write with their left hand and more write with their right hand. So you know less is left hand and more than is right hand. That is one way, one trick to remember. Yeah, so we have a less than sign here, and x is less than -1. So you just go onto your number line and find -1. -1 here, and you put a circle at the top of -1, and then x is less than -1, so we're going in this direction, right? All the numbers that are less than -1 would be on our left, right? All these numbers here, -4, -3, -2. These numbers are less than -1, so x is going in this direction. Now, one thing I want you to note, stepping back from where from plotting it. So x is less than -1. You go straight to -1 and you plot -1. Now a circle above -1. Now you notice I put a circle, not a filled circle, right? There's an important distinguish to note when you're putting that circle there. There's one instance where you need to put it as an empty circle, and there's another instance where you need to color inside. And you color when it's a more than or less than or equal to sign, you color. But if it's just, yikes, I have the wrong. I say you color and I'm leaving the one that is not colored. So yeah, you fill it out when it's a more than or equal to or less than or equal to sign. Right, so, or if it's just a less than sign, you just put a casual circle. If it's just a less than, or it's just a more than sign, right? So just remember to look at this to note if you're going to color, if you're going to fill the circle or not, right? That is about it. Once you have once you know what's less than, so it's going in less than, it just means it's going in this direction. You just put your arrow from your circle in there and you just write x is less than -1. That is all. Any questions? I forgot the name for this, right? But it's relating algebra to statements. Okay? So statement 1 says 2 adult tickets and 3 children tickets cost $43.00. And yeah, and statement 2 is saying 1 adult ticket and 1 ticket for a child, or 1 child ticket cost $18.5. Now let X represent the cost of an adult ticket and Y the cost for a children ticket. Write 2 equations in X and Y to represent the information above. Now with these questions, it's best to take your time. These questions are asking for you to turn statements into mathematical equations, right? Turn some real world problem into a mathematical equation and then solve it. Right? That's what these kind of types of questions are trying to have you do. So the first thing is what are your variables going to be? What is your variables for this equation? So you already know it's X, and you already know it's Y, but what does X represent? So X represent the cost of an adult ticket. So let's just put cost of an adult ticket. It's X, and Y represents the cost of, and it should be a children ticket, right? They put it in a different, they have it in different words, cost of an adult ticket and the cost of a ticket for a child, but I'm just going to call that a child ticket, which is the same thing. Right? But so let X be the cost of adult ticket and Y be the cost of child ticket, and see if you can put these 2 statements into an equation. So 2 adult tickets, and we know 2, right? And we know adult tickets is X, so 2X. And indicates addition, right? And tells us we're adding, right? So plus. And 3 children tickets, and we know Y is children tickets, so it's 3Y. Cost, and we understand cost. If 2X and 3Y costs $43, then 2X plus 3Y is equal to $43, right? So cost 43 tells us it's equal to 43. I think that came across to all of you, right? And once you get the first one, the simple one is the same. You use the same strategy to get the second one, right? Same strategy. 1 adult ticket, which is 1X or X, and 1 ticket for a child or child ticket is equal to, or cost, $18. X, $80.5, not $18. I put in a colon. Okay, and this is we got our marks from this. Right, the box the answer. Sure. To solve the 2 equations, solve the equations to determine the cost of an adult ticket. So we got to figure out what X is, right? Because X is adult ticket. So our 2 equations are 2X plus 3Y is equal to, so first of all, let me put adult ticket as X. So they want us to solve for X, right? The cost of an adult ticket is X. So again, put it back into our, so instead of dollars, I'm just going to put 43. Right, let's ignore the dollar sign. Good. Now, to solve 2 equations, you need to solve them simultaneously. Right? To solve 2 equations, we have 2 equations here. To solve 2 equations, you need to use either elimination method or substitution method. Well, because we're solving for 2 linear equations, right? So we need to use either the substitution method or the elimination method. Which one you guys prefer us to use?
Sorry, elimination. Elimination.
All right, good. So the first step in the elimination method, let's write back our 2 equations. Right. The first step in the elimination method is you can actually pick any variable and multiply the coefficient by each separate equation. What I mean, let's say x, right? So the coefficient of x in the first equation is 2. So you multiply the second equation by 2. And the coefficient of x in the second equation is 1. So you multiply the first equation by 1. So you're just taking the coefficient of x in one equation and multiplying it and taking that number multiplied by the other equation. That's all you're doing, right? Vice versa. That's the first step in the elimination method. Right, so let's see what we get from this. So everything in this equation multiplied by 1, but just every term in this equation multiplied by 1 will just give us back every term, right? Will just give us back all each term. So 2x multiplied by 1 will just give us 2x plus 3y times 3y times 1, sorry, will just give us back 3y, and 43 times 1 will just give us 43. So let's move to the second one and multiply everything by 2. So 2 times x will just give us 2x plus 2 times y, which just give us 2y, and then equal sign. You notice I'm putting back all of the signs in the expression. Ensure you do that when you're multiplying. You're just multiplying these terms. You're not changing these signs unless, of course, you're multiplying a negative sign or so on, right? But these signs will come back. Equal sign comes back, everything comes back. So 18 plus 18 by 5 multiplied by 2. Can't do this out of my head. Somebody help me.
37, sir.
37.
37, thank you. All right, so 37. I actually could have done that in my head anyway. So 37, right? So we finished there. And the next step is to subtract the two equations from each other, right? Eliminate a variable, and that's what the elimination method is about, right? Eliminating. So yikes, it would have been smart if we eliminated y, because we want to solve for x. It's best way to solve for x first. It would have been smart if we use these coefficients instead of these coefficients. It would have been smarter to do that. Because that would eliminate y, and we would have solved for x. Anyway, we already gone this far. Let's go. So next is to subtract two equations from each other, and think of these as subtracting each one of these terms from each other, right? You're subtracting your x from your x, your y from your y, and the constants on the over the equal sign from each other, right? So 2x minus 2x will just give you 0. Any term subtracted by itself is 0. There's no need for any to get maths involved in that. That's a rule, right? That's a simple rule we know and love actually, right? So 3y minus 2y, if you want to write this in a corner, 3y minus 2y will just give us x, which just give us y, right? So plus y or y. And then we have 43.00 subtract 37.000, which gives us 6.00. Right? So right away you see the answer here. It says 0 plus y is just y is equal to 6. Right? So y is equal to 6. So now we know what one variable is equal to, and y is the cost for a children ticket. If we would have gone the other route, like I was explaining, we'd have gotten what x is equal to and wouldn't have to go and substitute. Okay? But we want to find what x is, but we know what y is, so it means we can substitute y into one of these two statements, equations, and we would get what x is, right? Let's use the second one because the second one is easier to solve. X is equal to, right, somebody double check my math.
Sir, it's correct.
Thank you. Good. So this is the cost of an adult ticket, of a single adult ticket would be 12.6. And you can actually see if these statements are true. The second statement, which is just on to solve, says x, which is an adult ticket, plus y should be equal to 18.50, right? And we know x is 12.50 and y is 6.00, and that is indeed equal to 18.50, right? That is true, right? And the statements will always be true, but they will The reason why you could do, you can do this to check back your answer. Because if it says x plus y is equal to 80.50, since the beginning, we know what x and y are. Now we can actually plug it in to see if those values are correct. First part, question A, tackling Venn diagrams. The universal set A, B, D, E, F, G, I, K, S, T, V, W. Oh, I don't know why they kick out C and A and those letters. But the Venn diagram below shows the universal set and three sets, M, P, and R, which are subsets of our universal set U. Now, the Venn diagram is there. Now, what I want to know is state the value of N, open bracket, P union R, close bracket. And we understand the notations already, right? N, open bracket, anything inside is talking about the number of elements in that set, right? Which means we want the number, not the elements themselves. Want to know how much, right? The number of elements. That's what the N open bracket, our set notation, means, right? The number of elements in that specific set, right? And think of how much, not what they are, what the elements are, but how much elements they are, right? Good. So they want to know how much elements are in P union R, and we know this union stands, this U symbol means union, right? I think everyone familiar with that by now. Good. So P union R. So for us to know how much elements are in P union R, we need to know what are the elements in P union R, right? So let's just write all the elements in P union R first, and then we'll count to see how much elements they are. So let's go ahead. And P union R just speaks of everything that is in R and U and P. So what you do is just write down all the elements in, let's do P first. All the elements in P would be, let's go in R, but it is an intersect here, but those elements have already been listed. So we don't need to write them twice, right? We don't write the same element twice in a set, right? So I, G is the only two elements that are missing, and this is P union R. So now it's just a counting game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 elements. So the number of elements in P union, I put a U, it's not a U, right? P union R is equal to, remember your set notation, right? This means number of elements in P union R is equal to 8. So our answer is 8. Want to part. So now they want us to list elements. Okay. So let's move on to the second part of the question, which asks us for M intersect B. Remember those set notations, right? This is my intersect sign, so I want to know what's inside M intersect P, right? So elements starting M to intersect P, not the number of elements, but the elements themselves. So let's go ahead to our Venn diagram. M intersect P would be what's in both M and P. That would be, right, the intersection of the circles, right? This is M intersect P, right? M intersect P would be in the middle here. And those two elements are B and D, right? B and D stand in both circles, P and M. Good, right? Next one is asking us for M union R complement. Now, the best way is to do these kinds of I would call them complex set notations, is to actually, so M union R complement, we're unionizing M and R complement, right? We want to know all the elements are in M and then add on all the elements are in R complement. So what you can do, the easiest way to get this, if you don't don't already recognize what M union R complement means, right? You can actually just sit down, list all the elements in M, which are R complement. The elements are in R complement. Now, the elements that are in R complement would be all the elements that are not in R, right? Remember what our complement means. So everything that's not in R, so everything outside the circle. Say our complement is everything that's not in R. So we're not talking about what anything that is in R. So ignore everything that is not in R and just write all the elements that remain outside of the circle R. So even the stuff that are way outside, right? That's still within our union or within our square or rectangle, whichever one you prefer to call it, but it's outside. So W, K, B, V, S, and T, right? So we know what M, we know what R complements, those elements. We just need to unionize them. In other words, write all of them together. Remember, don't write the same elements twice. So let's start off with M, so K, I, and this is our M union R complement. So what we're going to do now is construct using a ruler, pencil, and a pair of compasses. We're going to construct a triangle P. We're going to label PRQ with PQ being 8 centimeters, PQR having an angle of 120 degrees, and P and QR being 5 centimeters. So the first step is actually to draw a straight line. You don't actually measure anything as yet. Just draw a straight line. You get a whole pencil, everything. Draw a straight line here.
The pencil's so fake.
Well, I hope you got a better pencil. Draw a straight line. Just ensure that it's more than 8 centimeters because we're going to add on the 8 centimeter PQ line. All right. Now, what the next step is actually to open your compass to from 0, take your compass anchor. So what I'm calling the compass anchor is the base of the compass. Let me draw the compass. Some of y'all got. So the compass anchor is the one with the point, the metal point, and then the good draw. And then this is you have your pencil. I'm trying. Good. Right. This is the anchor. This is what I'm calling the anchor. So you're gonna place your anchor at 0. So again, take your ruler, just like you have it, take your ruler and then place the anchor at 0, then open it, the compass to about 8 centimeters. Right? Because we're gonna go ahead and add on 8 centimeters onto our line. Now, don't cheat this. So the anchor is X. So on my, I didn't animate a compass. That would have taken way too much time to actually animate a compass drawing it. I could actually do this in the software, but I already did the animation, so it doesn't make any sense. So the anchor is X, is where you're gonna place your anchor, and this is the pencil point, just as I explained just now. So press the anchor at 0 and open it to 8 centimeters. So you want the 8 centimeter width between your anchor and your pencil point, right? You're gonna transfer this onto the line you just drew and scribe an arc on one side, right, of the line. It needs to fit on the line, right? Scribe an arc on one side. Any random rate, place the anchor anywhere. Just ensure that when you scribe an arc, it lands on the line, and then switch sides and scribe another arc on the other side. This line here will be 8 centimeters long. If you're following so far, anybody, go ahead and do that. All right, I'll assume you're finished. So this is 8 centimeters, and it's going to be our PQ line. This is P and this is Q, PQ. This is 8 centimeters. Now what I want to point out is, you notice I didn't have draw the line and then put the ruler on the line and then take off up to 8 centimeters. Just mark off 8 and 0 to 8 and okay, this is P and this is Q. Or I didn't just take the ruler and actually drew a line from 0 to 8, and actually just drew a line from here. Take my ruler, took my pencil, and just drew a line from 0 to 8, and then this will be your P and Q. I didn't do any of this. This is what I did. This is what you need to do to get that. They say it's more precise or more accurate, but this is what you need to do to get that 8 centimeter line. Do not go ahead and try and be lazy and just use a ruler and get the 8 centimeter, right? You will get marks for these construction lines, these arcs that you're going to be describing. Right? You notice these arcs are reasonably small. Don't scribe in these big ginormous arcs, and we still got to draw our
That's why I just
triangle. Does you did? But
yeah.
but
I
you
am
just,
just gonna look at you do that. Only
just
because you know, only because you
Relax.
you just need a small piece to know where Q is on the line and where P is. You can erase those extra parts because we still got to draw our triangle, right? So be very careful with those things. Good. So let's move on. Now you have your two arcs reasonably sized, and next step would be to get our angle. So we finished with this part. Check. This is 8 centimeters. Did I label? No, I didn't. Yeah, you should always label your sides, right? 8 centimeters. Now in the corner there is a video of how to construct a 120 degrees angle using your compass. Right, so I'll let the video play. I hope it doesn't stick up and all that. He's going to construct 120 degrees by constructing two 160s, 260 degrees. He got the same rule like me. That's it. That's about it. And that's his YouTube channel. That's his YouTube channel. All right, so you guys follow?
No, sir.
No. All right.
um
Now, before you start constructing, where do you need to construct this PQR being 120 degrees? Where do you need to construct it? Let me see if you guys are paying attention. At the P or at the Q? Which side do you need to construct the 120 degrees? On the Q, right? Because why? How do you know that?
Sir, I just said PQR. Actually, we don't do P and Q, so I just said because we didn't do R, then R is next, so we start from Q,
Oh, that
which is the
wow.
right side.
Oh wow, that is a smart. That's a good way to put it. Now that's not the way I saw it, but that's good. All right, but the reason why I know that you're gonna construct it, the angle needs to be constructed at point Q, is because Q is in the center, right? PQR. If you're talking about the angle PQR, then the angle is at the letter in the center. So whatever you see the notation P angle PQR angle A angle ABC or whatever it is, the letter in the center will always be the point at which that angle will be, right? So just look at the letter in the center. So you can actually ignore the other letters and just look at the letter in the center, you know where that angle is, right? So that angle is on P, and we're gonna construct a 120 degrees on P. On Q, sorry, I'm saying P, apologies. But gotta follow the video, right? So the first thing he does, I don't think I can pause and play. I can't pause and play. I can't possibly. Video is going. So he's what? Let me. I'll have to go with his pace. Oh, there is a way for me to pause video. Okay. Good. So he has his line. We already have our line, and his point is on the left. Right, his point is on the left, but we gotta imagine it on the right. So good. Good. So the first thing he does is open his compass to a reasonable length, to a reasonable size. That's all you need to do. You actually pick the size of the width that you want to open your compass at. As soon as you pick that width, do not touch it. Do not open it or close it anymore, because you're going to use that same width to construct throughout, to describe your arc. You'll notice from this point on, it does not change the width of the compass, right? So open it, go to the queue. I've already set it up, the stuff here, but go to it, scribe an arc going back, and then you notice it doesn't close or open it with. Scribe an arc on it from that point on here, scribe an arc. Let's use that and scribe another arc there. And the second line is what you're going to use. That line here is what is actually 120 degrees, right? All right, so I'm just going to draw a straight line through that intersection, right? This intersect here. That's 120 degrees. All right, so let me do it using my invisible compass. Now this is my anchor and this is my pencil point. So I scribe an arc. You can go all the way back. He stopped halfway, but you can actually go all the way back. That is not a problem. So I scribe an arc at Q and I rest my anchor, I scribe an arc. Do not touch that anchor. Do not, make sure it's the same width, right? You lock the compass. So you're locking it here. I scribe an arc, taking that same compass length, rest the anchor on this end, right? Rest the anchor on this end, and I scribe an arc on that semicircle you would have constructed. A small arc. These arcs don't need to be huge. I'm talking to you because these arcs don't need to be that big, right? Very small.
Okay, sir.
But I'm speaking to everyone, even though I'm just pointing you out. All right, so very small, just to ensure that you can see the intersect. And then this, the thing about this angle here is actually 60 degrees, right? What I can tell you here is that this way you constructed from here is actually 60 degrees, but we don't want 60 degrees, we want 120. So you would go ahead and go on this arc that you just scribed. On it, you place your anchor and you scribe another arc. Again, do not change the width at which your compass was open to from the beginning, right? And scribe another arc, and then we just draw, take your ruler, and just draw a straight line through, right? And you get your 120 degrees in there. Let me know. You draw a long enough line because this will be 5 centimeters long. This angle, this, because R will be here, right? This line needs to be of a good length. Just ensure it's more than 5 cm because we're gonna do the 5 cm line. Measure the 5 cm just now on this line.
Can you get into?
Celia, you're finished.
Yes, sir.
All right, Celia finished. Rihanna, you finished?
Yes, sir.
Kizia, you finished? Let me know when you're done.
Sir, it's 6 centimeters, right?
I said it got to be more than 5. Just to ensure that it's longer than 5. When you draw a line, just ensure it's more than 5 centimeters. You're not measuring anything. Just ensure you draw a long enough line. That's what I'm trying to get at. Shania, very late. You missed almost half the session. More than half the session already. So you can pick up. All right, so how we doing? You guys finished?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So next is to get we finished Finish with this, finish with this. Next is the QR line. And we know it's a triangle, so if this is P, this is Q, then of course R will be somewhere here for us to make our triangle, right? Good. So the same like before, we're not taking a ruler and measuring 5 centimeters. No, we're taking our compass and scribing arcs to make that 5 centimeter. Right. So again, open your compass to 5 centimeters and then rest the anchor at Q because here's where the 5 centimeter will start. And open, well, it's already open to 5 and just scribe an arc. And just scribe an arc. It should be 5 centimeters long. And that's it. We don't need to go on the other side because we already know where Q is, right? And that's it. And this should be 5 centimeters, right? This is 8 cm, and this will be our 5 centimeter, right? And we'll just call that point R. So we have our PQR, PQR, that's on an angle 120 degrees, and this is our triangle. So the last step would just be to take your ruler and just draw a straight line from P going straight to R. Be careful with this line, they need to connect, right? Let me know once you've successfully constructed. One more thing though, they're gonna ask us to do. And that's the second part. What they want for us to do, second 2 questions. Part 2 says measure and state the length of PR. I don't know the length, my thing, I did this virtually and this length is this length PR is unknown to me. However, you should all approximately have the same length. So this should be 8 cm and this should be 5 cm. This should be 120 degrees. But you guys will tell me what you got for PR. This line at the top here. Use your, put in R first. Use a ruler and measure the length of this line.
Anybody else get 11.4? Because I don't think they're right.
Yeah, it's about 11 point something. Anyone else?
Yes, I got that.
Same 11.4?
Yes, sir.
Oh wow, that's good. That's good. You guys get the exact same stuff. It could be off by just the decimal places. If it's way too off, then something's wrong there. Those construction lines, you notice the construction lines are there, yes, right? But what the focus is on the triangle that's in the middle. What you can do sometimes, what they teach you in technical drawing is to make these arcs that you're constructing really light, right? You make these lines really light. These lines are in green, you make these lines really light, and you make the triangle a bit darker, right? So the triangle line would be a bit darker so that you can actually pick out the triangle in all the construction that is going on, right? Because you might have, if depending on how large you make your arcs, you might have an arc coming over there and a bunch of lines intersecting each other. So that's why two things to help with that is to try and see how small you can make your arcs and also draw them light enough, draw them a bit light and draw your actual triangle darker so that you can actually, it pops out, right? Don't shade it. Don't shade. You don't ever shade in construction. It's one straight line you're drawing. You lose marks for, well, in TD and in maths, you lose marks for double lining, right? If you double line, mean that you draw it straight. It should be one straight continuous line. Don't draw and then draw. I'm talking about, don't do that, right? Or draw and then don't double line. Try and do one continuous line always, right? Try and stick to one continuous line. Those things that you should have get your full marks. I do those things, you should get your full marks. 11.4, 11.5, roughly 11 is the length for that side, right? So right, centimeters, one mark there. Now on your diagram that we would have constructed before, you're gonna do something else. They want us to construct a second point S such that PQRS forms a parallelogram, right? A parallelogram. Now, the thing about parallelograms, they are parallel signs, right? So the easiest way to do this is not the only way, to do it, but it is the simplest way to do it, right? Just takes two things. I forgot the name. Not a set square. Is it a set square? Y'all remember what? Y'all gonna tell me what this is called? You notice this instrument in your geometry set? I think it's called a set square.
Yes, sir.
This is what you use to draw parallel line. This on your ruler. The video is just an illustration of how to draw parallel lines using your set square.
In this video, we are going to draw a line parallel to line AB through point P. The first step, place the longer side of the set square against the line AB. Then, place a ruler at the shorter side of the set square. Make sure the ruler lies nicely on the shorter side of the set square. Slide the set square along the ruler until you reach point P. Then, use the edge of the set square to draw a line through point P. Do not forget to draw the symbol for parallel lines.
You guys got that? That's what we're going to be doing.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So we have a similar point P. I'm going to carry two parallel lines. So if you want to construct a parallelogram, why? I don't want this video here. This is what we're going to do. Right? We want to create a parallelogram right away. That means that this side is going to be parallel. Point S is going to be somewhere in this vicinity, and this line will be parallel to this line. And then we have another line coming across here, which is going to be parallel to that line. That's one way of doing it, and it's honestly just requires you to take a set square, carry those parallel lines across, and draw a line. You don't have to use a compass to get involved, and gotta go back to reverse time. All right, you don't have to get your compass involved to do this one. All right, good. So let's use our set square and carry a parallel line QR across through P, because it's going to be through P, right? You don't even have to measure. So take your set square, line it up. This isn't lined up exactly. It should be lined up exactly with it. Now, the reason why you notice I didn't set the set square up straight onto this line, because you'll notice if you do that and you try to carry it across, you'll end up your set square will end up somewhere till up here, right? And you won't be able to draw a line from here to P, right? So we need to ensure that to bring it down just a little, line this just at the top part up with the line QR, so that when we carry it across, to P, to draw a line from P is here, right? This is our P. It goes nicely through there, right? If we carry the set square from too high, then when we go across, it won't be on P for us to draw it. Right, so be careful with that. So just do that. Let me know if you guys are getting through. Again, line it up like this. Get your ruler. Make sure it's lined up neatly and sturdily on the bottom here, because you don't want this ruler on the bottom here to move. If this ruler on the bottom moves, you lose your parallelicity or whatever word you want to put there, but you lose the them being parallel, right? So line this up first and then place your rule underneath, ensuring it's neatly in line with the base of the set protractor, and then carry it across, right? Hold it sturdily and just slide that across nicely up to the point P and draw a straight line. Now draw this line going as much past here is it needs to be more than 5 centimeters. We won't be measuring 5 centimeters if all lines are parallel. It should be the same length when we go ahead and construct this straight line across here. It will automatically, this should automatically be 5 and this should automatically be 8 centimeters. Right, so you don't need to measure it. Just ensure you go across and draw a long enough line that it's gonna cover more than 5 centimeters. That's gonna cover 5 centimeters, right? We good so far?
No, sir. No.
What happened? You got a set square?
Like I'm a thing, but I was distracted.
Oh well, I can't help you with that. If you distracted the word paying attention, then another thing. What about the others?
Sir, I'm okay.
You finish?
Yes.
You finish with both? The next step is this side, right?
No, sir. I ain't got so far.
All right, good. All right, so Anshilia. All right, so Cecilia's already. That's what you're gonna do. You're just gonna take it, the same straight line and carry it across, right? This is gonna be your S and that's your parallelogram. Now when you measure, okay, I should write this. This is 11.4 centimeters. Now parallel sides are equal, so this should be 8 cm. You can measure and double check, and this should be 5 centimeters. It's fine if it's a 0.5 off or so on. It should be, right? It's 4:30 on the dot. That was the last question. Just want to confirm that you guys got it. I see Sheila got it. Well done. Sheila used the TD.
Duh. I'm building tech.
Oh, okay. So you
So I got
already
a
know.
question. If you don't show that the lines are parallel, you won't lose marks, right?
No, you don't need to show the line up parallel.
Okay.
That was just the person in the videos perspective, but we don't need to do that. It won't hurt to do it if you want. You're free to, but you won't get marks for that.